Hey guys, it's the Coin Guy here in Diest, Belgium. I'm here for a meeting of the Oriental Numismatic Society. In this video you're going to see some presentations, some interviews, and I hope everyone learns something.
Copy already, so I don't have to put it in the mail. This time it's with a number of articles, not like before, only one article. This time it's more articles in very beautiful quality, done members, but everybody. And after some tasting of what we do, you can become a member. So that's the purpose.
So one of the biggest advantages to these kind of conferences, the chance to hear other academics speak, as you can see here.
Kali. Well, this coin is obviously a modern fabrication. Just because of the misspelling of the company's name, made use of Hindu religious symbols. Even in the same period as the above mentioned alleged British coin, early 19th century, the East India Company did release a coin with the gods, notably Shiva and Parvati, and on the obverse the Persian Hey from Hyder Ali. Strange combination, but it is a model for all colonial pagodas. The emperors had already lost their former capital, Vijayanagar. They had retreated to a hill fort in Chandragiri. That was not far away from the famous pilgrimage temple of Tirupati. The god who was worshipped.
The Viennese coin cabinet originates from the Imperial Habsburg collection of coins and medals, the oldest surviving inventory of which the largest collections of Sasanian coins that we know today, the public collections I mean, originate from that very period, from the 19th century, was taken over by his successor, Dr. Klaus Wondrowitz. The entire collection was eventually purchased in spring 2021, like 6 months ago. At this point, it should be mentioned that this purchase is not only a coin collector, but, as I already mentioned, also a well-educated scientist. And as a scientist, he could easily realize that the coins he collected were not just valuable collectibles, but rather invaluable scientific material for numismatic direction of the two small ribbons under the corymmus, one running leftwards and the other rightwards. As you see on the table, I hope it is visible on the screen. Normally the little diadem bands beneath the corymmus go.
I also got to talk to a couple academics one-on-one and learn more about them.
Tramples up on the king Advanus. And this is mirrored by the god trampling on the bad spirit.
So if you could just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your research.
Yeah, I'm Yngve Karlsson from Sweden. I've written a book about silver and silver coins, and that's the main contribution I made to this area.
Okay, and what benefit do you see from these in-person conferences?
Oh, well, meeting nice people, of course, and getting contact. You never know who you will meet, and often someone turns out to be very valuable contact.
Okay, and what about, I mean, how do you see numismatics being relevant to today's society?
Not at all. No, I don't know. I mean, often you hear that, in history we find the answers to all problems today, but I don't believe that. But still it's interesting to see what has happened in the past. And I also hear that history repeats itself, but it doesn't. It's a myth. Everything that happens is new and happening now.
Okay. And so, of course, we're at a meeting of the Oriental Numismatic Society. So what does Oriental mean to you?
The Orient, that's where the sun goes up. So everything east of me will be the Orient. I mean, for me, it's ancient coins and ancient archaeology. But it's actually everything that's east of my position would be the Orient.
Okay.
So yeah. This is third crown. We use the crown of the king to identify as a prime identifier. So he had 3 different crowns, and this is the type 3. And try to read the name, but that will not be easy. And we cannot read any year because it's undated. The mint is NY for Neo-Antiquity Media. And we can see the museum number 12 here. By chance this was actually the same mint, NY for Neo-Antiquity Media. But no, it isn't. They're all over the place. All the common mints appear, and you can find just as many southern. This is Daragir.
The machine struck ones I'm not that interested in. That is a matter of going to a shop and buying coins. This one was more interesting since only very little was done. I will speak about who has worked on it. And since then, since the book, I'm still working and doing some research on the coins of Bhutan. Real interesting study on Bhutanese numismatic was done by Nicholas Roos. You also have Charles Panish, which was studying, but let's say the first big study was done by, and documentation was made by
So if you could introduce yourself?
My name is Chris van den Kruijsen. I'm from Belgium, and well, from a coin collecting perspective, I'm mainly interested in Tibet, Bhutan, and Lower Burma.
Okay, so what was it that got you into coinage?
Oh, like most of us, I collected coins as of the age of 15, but never got serious until I went to Tibet in 1994, and I bought a lot of banknotes and coins, and as of that moment it became very serious, so to speak.
Okay, and what role do you think numismatics plays in our modern world?
Yeah, coins are money, so it's quite important. Certainly when people can put their head on it and identify themselves with it. So it's important as money, but if you look at it from a historical perspective, I think that, how should I say it? Well, first of all, it's a clear link to history, and it's something like archaeologists are putting many things in museums, and things are quite expensive. But for me, who wanted to become an archaeologist as a child, coins is actually the real thing I can do as not being an archaeologist. So it's for me the path to the history, and well, by collecting coins, I also get interested in the history of many things. So I find myself a little archaeologist traveling in time.
Okay, and these sort of in-person conferences, why do you think they're so important?
Sharing knowledge, because when I was writing my book on Bhutan, I did it until 2015, so to speak, in my isolated room at home. But when I came here, I presented the book, and I got interested in what other areas, and I learned from it. Because what you learn at home and in books is not as impressive as what you learn from these people. You can speak to them, and I must say that I'm very impressed by the knowledge of a lot of people who are at these conferences. So for me, they are enlarging my interest and my knowledge.
Okay.
Really intensively, even.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. And because we're the Oriental Numismatic Society, so what does Oriental mean to you?
But it doesn't mean really a thing, but I don't know, it depends on how you interpret the question, but let me put it like this. You know, in Western Europe, we know everything about Romans and Greek and Napoleon and the Vikings, if you are very lucky. But the Oriental, I learned that history in Oriental Asia is at least as impressive as it is in Europe. So again, it enlarges my knowledge of what happened in the world in the ages before it. So it's also a way of dreaming away into a fantasy world.
Coins have a diameter of about 3 centimeters, or small or bigger. But the seals are a bit bigger, and here you have about 3 seals, which are used, and as you can see here, a drawing, they were put, and the coin was hammered.
And I also got to present some of my own research, which was quite interesting and quite exciting and a lot of fun. Now, additionally, one of the coins in the Hermitage collection, I don't know how well you can see it with the light, but the cross actually has like a double effect. And when looking at this, my first thought was, is it a countermark? It's not a countermark. There's no, kind of punch mark into it. Then I thought, well, maybe it was just some sort of die error. Possible. The rest of the coin is quite clean. But this is our only specific correlation here. Now, the other thing to be noted is that, especially under Stephanos, the Georgians did side with the Sasanians. They occupied Tbilisi. They seem to have supported them. In fact, Stephanos I was actually executed by the Byzantine emperor when he was captured. He was flayed alive. So this is not a group that necessarily shows implication that they've been rebelling and they're trying to be independent from the Sasanians. If anything, they actually support each other. And then we got to finish off the day with a nice little auction. I got some stuff, some other people got some coins and some books. I think it was a lot of fun for everyone.
Lot number 102.
So there you have it. It was a very good meeting, some really good talks. I hope everyone got to see some interesting information and you learned something. I know I did. Also spent probably more money than I should have, but these things happen. So till next time, see everyone around.